This week, I really wanted to challenge myself. What if I could make a set of characters all around one concept? And so I came up with this sketch, the Puka Post. I will explain what a Puka is, but here are our characters. We have our little Puka. They're all supposed to work at a little post office in an abandoned hut in the forest. I went with a kind of rounded, kind of soft design for each of the characters, very simplest expressions. We have our puka, we have a corpse candle, and all of these are based on kind of Irish mythology. And this one is an amethyst deceiver mushroom, which I found out grows in Ireland, and I thought it'd be kind of cool. An abandoned plush toy, and our little Karen. Now, the fairy unfortunately did not work out, but that's okay because I still ended up with 5 great designs. So let's get into it, shall we? For this one, we'll need aluminium foil for the armature base inside to ease up on clay. And then for our clay choice, we're going to go with Super Sculpey, the one I feel the most comfortable with. So we're going to be starting with our corpse candle, or will-o-wisp as they're called. Basically lights that you would see over bogs, forests, swamps at night. And basically we're going to start with the aluminium base, cover that in clay by going around the rim first, getting it as smooth as possible. Remember, soft, round shapes is cute. Once it's all kind of covered, we can then manipulate the clay a little bit to give it that caught in motion, wind flowing through it kind of a vibe. Added in the limbs, and remember, soft, cuddly, cute features is the vibe today, so we are giving all of that. And we're going to be jumping around from character to character here, so I hope you don't mind. But here we go, we add in the little candle. I thought it'd be kind of cute to make the wisp look like it's a little kind of ghost candle. And this one actually happens to be my favorite of the entire bunch of characters that I make today. Don't worry about like your fingerprints or marking the clay too much, because once it's all constructed, you're going to go over it all with isopropyl alcohol and give it a good brush that melts away that top layer of clay and allows you to have a soft, smooth finish. But then make sure you press it into a flat surface so that it can stand. And there is our will-o-wisp or corpse candle. I decided to go with a amethyst deceiver mushroom. I really like mushroom style characters. I think they're really adorable and really fun, especially as we're coming up to autumn. I know it's still summer, but we're coming up to autumn, okay? And I really don't like the color red. So I was trying to think of what mushrooms grow in Ireland, and I came across the amethyst deceiver, or it was brought to my attention actually by a lovely chatter in my stream. And it's a brightly colored purple mushroom. It's got these like lilac purple colors, and I just thought it would look really perfect next to our wisp and our puka. So I went ahead, added in the aluminum base like normal. You got to make sure that it's covered, and I wanted to bulk up the body first before I ended up covering the cap, because the cap can end up pretty heavy with mushroom sculptures, I've noticed. But went ahead and covered the entire thing in clay. Took my time blending it in piece by piece. Again, we're not really worried about our fingerprints because isopropyl alcohol will take care of that. Once I had all of that done and the cap covered, I bulked up the base. That way it just looks like it's kind of tied to the ground a little bit, right? So that it looks more plant organic like, I guess. And after I had bulked up the base, I wanted to add in these kind of little indentations to look like it's kind of like growing out of a bud or a seed or something. I don't know why, I just think it looks more organic when it has these, I guess. After that, I went ahead and flipped the mushroom upside down, and I started scoring in under the cap these kind of spiral designs going from the inside to the outside of the cap. Because if you look up an amethyst deceiver, they have these wonderful little like ridges, and when these are painted, they're going to look absolutely amazing. Now for our little Karen buddy, not Karen, Cairn. It's basically a bunch of rocks stacked up on one another that kind of serve as markers, and you've kind of seen them on various trails if you've gone hiking. More than likely you've seen one and you didn't even know what they are. Basically, cover an aluminum base in clay, make sure it is a little bit thicker, because you're going to take an obscenely large knife and cut away facets to add in those rock aspects. Very simple sculpture to make. Thank you KB Creations for the tutorial. But basically you're going to cut away and cut until you get these like little facets along the front of it, and that kind of gives it that rock like texture. You can also take a tool like I'm doing here and carve in little divots into the rock just to make it look like it's kind of fallen or taking some like natural environmental damage. add in the limbs. Now the limbs, you basically have to add them in like every other sculpture, but after they're added, you can take a smaller knife and go in and add in those facets just so it matches the overall body in just a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. And you can notice that this guy is pretty big. I wanted to make a big character who's strong, can help them with the heavy lifting, but who also maybe doesn't have that much going on behind those eyes. I decided to add in his little stacked rocks. He's very loosely a Karen here. And then to make him even cuter, I thought it'd be really nice if he had this like really angry little bird that sits on him. And I went with the Irish robin. So I know you all have robins over here in America, but back home we have these little Irish robins, and they have a bright red chest, and they're very small, and they take over a tiny little garden each, and they look absolutely adorable. So here's what our guy's gonna look like. We're gonna add in some limbs, make sure he's pretty balanced, and then there we go. And now for the little guy who started the entire concept, the puka. Basically the same original start as the rest of them. And as I sculpt this guy, I kind of want to explain what a puka is in case you all don't know. A puka is an Irish spirit in mythology. Puka actually is the Irish for spirit or ghost. It has a fada, which is that little mark you see on it. And basically, they're considered bringers of misfortune or fortune, depending on how you like look at it. They're also depicted as like this like black dog, fox, rabbit-like creature. And if you didn't know, in the monsters from Pop Mart with Labubu, one of Labubu's friends is actually a puka as well. So I kind of wanted to go with that cute-ish vibe for this, because I don't know what it is about Ireland and Irish mythology. My people just don't want to make cute mythological creatures, so I really had to lean into the cute cuddly rabbit fox version for this to make him cute. And so I decided to kind of base him a mix between Labubu and Meowth. That's how I could kind of describe this. I went with soft, round, fluffy textures, and the horns to kind of lean into that like monstery vibe, and I just think he looks really, really adorable. Pukas were said to inhabit forests or gardens, and they're actually really fun spirits in mythology, and they can either be a little bit menacing or a little bit beneficial. So I thought in this one, maybe this little puka just inhabits a forest, came across the hut, and gathered all of his friends, and eventually set up this little postal service. Maybe it's a postal service for lost post. Who knows? The story is still in the air. But he was looking a little wibbly wobbly, so I decided to add in a tail for balance, and also I think the tail helped with the monsterish aspect. But here he is, and he looks absolutely precious. And the last little sculpture friend that we're going to be making today is an abandoned plush toy. I thought this was a cute idea because nearly every forest, swamp, abandoned little area that you would have spirits has some abandoned toys. And what's cuter than a little abandoned toy? Maybe it's haunted, maybe the tie itself came alive, I don't know. All I know is it turned out really cute. I decided to base it on kind of loosely a cat design and gave it this little patch at the front of its dress. Originally, I did want it to stand like the rest, but I ended up just making it sit down. Here is what we started with, and here is our figurines. Now, as you can see, the little fairy in the back, it was an attempt. They ended up being very off balance, and the design is not great, so I'm going to rework it. But here's what we're working with so far. So this is them after they came out of the oven. I did run out of my paint primer, so I had to take my time to go over each and every single of them with light coats of white paint. And you'll be so happy to know that I actually sanded. That's right. I took the time. I sanded each of these pieces, and it was well worth it because they look so smooth and good. But for our little wisp or corpse candle, basically, I wanted to go with the idea of like a blue flame, and I thought that was kind of cool. So I just went in with various ombres of blue to lighter and kind of had this like white speckled effect in the middle, and I think it looks like a candle. It's very hard to do blue when it comes to water candle, so you could also mistake this guy as a water elemental. I think he looks like a cute little wisp. I think he looks absolutely adorable. He's one of my favorites of the entire set, and I couldn't be happy with my little wispy ghost. Next, we're going to go with our Amethyst Deceiver, and as I said before, Amethysts have this striking, beautiful purple color, and this purple was delicious. It was absolutely amazing to pour onto him. I just loved how I came across, and then I took my time to go in with the smaller brush and put in those striations, and it was worth it, because the ending effect of all of these little striations looks phenomenal. Like, I am so proud of myself and the effort that I put into these little guys. They're simple, but they're very adorable. Add in these white speckles that some of the Amethyst Deceivers have, and then basically for a Karn, it's just multiple shades of gray. What do you really expect? Basically, just went over him with grays and grays and grays and grays and grays. And then it's time for our little Púca. Now, I went through various different designs for him because I didn't really know what I wanted to do for him. Did I want to go pink? Did I want to go green? Did I want to go brown? Eventually, I settled on brown because I wanted to imagine if this guy did live in a bog or a swamp or a forest, how would he blend in? And Púcas are known for their transformation skills, but I kind of felt like maybe they should have like a little natural design. So went in with these various shades of brown and coffee colored colors, and they look absolutely beautiful. I took my time to go in and gave him various markings, marking up his little tuft of hair on his chest, gave him these little like patches on his hands and feet, stripes on his arms, and I think he looks absolutely adorable. It really comes across that he's just a little nature spirit, which is kind of what a Púca is. And maybe if you lose your post someday, maybe this is the guy that finds it and helps it make its way to your destination. Now we're going to move on to the last little guy, which is our plush toy. So our plush toy ended up having the sitting down pose, and I think it just adds to the plush toy effect, honestly. And because it's a plush toy, I could go with vibrant, non-natural colors like this bright pink for the sleeves. I went in and gave them stripes and kind of just had fun. I just used all of my like cutesy favorite colors here and just brought out the little inner painting child here. I think a plush toy is always a fun thing to add in to any piece because you can really go all out with the patterns. You can do whatever you want with the colors, and I think they look adorable. I imagine that they kind of run the little cashier. So here are our pieces. This is the finished piece of our wisp. Don't they look absolutely adorable? I did go over each one with a gloss varnish, and I think they look, oh my god, they look awesome. Their little expressions, their little faces, the way the glass works in each one. I think the sanding definitely helped here bring all of the pieces together. Here's our little Karen and Robin buddy. As you can see, they look very cute. All in one piece. Very blank expression on our Karen, but I kind of love it. And here is our Púca. I think he looks phenomenal. And our plush toy! See? They just turn out so cute. The simpler, the better, the rounder, the softer features. And here is the entire set together. Don't they look absolutely cute? I'm really impressed with myself. It was a challenge I set myself this week, and I think I really pulled it off. What do y'all think? Thank you all for so much support on this channel. If you like this video, please give it a like and also subscribe. And until next week, bye-bye!